I was going to take some time off. I really was. But damnation. This woman, this woman just is seeking to be verbally spanked. Press your beans and roll your leaf. Make some time to sit down and listen to the words of the wise that thwart folly. It's once more time for Coffee and Cigars Replies. We are once again talking about the adventuring philosopher. I was not going to touch her material for another week, but this came across my feed and it's got to be talked about. The video is titled, Kai, Where Are Your Friends? It's a little short, you can see it, in which she complains that Kai Trump posted a video on July 4th of Kai Trump enjoying the holiday with her family and her grandfather, Donald Trump. And in this video, Kelly, that's adventuring philosopher, goes on to complain, and I'm paraphrasing, but you'll hear it in the short. What is this 19-year-old, wealthy, beautiful young lady doing with her life that she's not dating, she has no friends, and she's spending time with her geriatric grandfather? That's just weird. I don't know about you, but when I was 19, I wasn't doing that. No, you weren't, Kelly. By your own admission, when you were 19, you were raising a child out of wedlock. Because by your own admission in your videos, when you were 14, you were involved in a relationship with an adult man who knocked you up and abandoned you. And you want us to feel sympathy for you about that, because in that video where you're talking about it, you're like, well, I didn't have a prefrontal cortex and I was groomed. I would normally give you that grace, except that another video just in the same month that you posted that one, you talk about how you despise your sister who stepped in to be your parental figure when your alcoholic parents would not be. That your sister, whom you despise, is highly religious and always had been. Well, it stands to reason that if she was highly religious and always had been, she taught you what was right and wrong. She taught you that any dating with a man when you're a child is wrong, and you did it anyway. Now, arguably, your complaint against your sister not having a condoning view of homosexuality and body dysphoria, that's arguably in the right. But your loathing of the woman that stepped in to be your parental figure and take care of you when nobody else would, it seems to me that what you're doing here is being extremely ungrateful. And that in addition to being ungrateful, you are projecting onto Kai a bit of, well, frankly, jealousy. Because here's this young, beautiful, wealthy, powerful, influential, has a lifetime of potential things ahead of her to do, who has a loving family, and you're critiquing her life choices? Miss 60-something divorcee who doesn't have a job or a house, and when people argue against her, immediately results to ad hominems. By the way, on the comments, there's a few on this little video of hers. On the comments, she immediately goes to ad hominems against the people that are arguing with her who happen to be male, calling them stupid loser men. The misandry in this woman is just like, she wears it like a cape. She automatically assumes that people disagreeing with her are Trump voters. Kelly. Hi, Kelly. Hi. Let me introduce you to a group called Libertarians. Now, I don't speak for every libertarian because no libertarian can. There's many little different factions amongst us. That's what happens when you're a third party in the United States. But something we all share is the acknowledgement of your life is your responsibility. Hence why we're into liberty, so we can make our own choices without the interference of the state. Just because conservatives are starting to come around to that idea, there's a lot of libertarian thinking and most conservative thinking these days. Just because they're starting to come around to those ideas doesn't mean they automatically voted for Trump. I didn't vote for Trump his first run. Objectively speaking, I know Trumpers hate to hear this, but objectively speaking, Hillary Clinton, although she wasn't a great candidate, she was a better candidate than Trump for that first election. But you would have to be a stone-cold moron to think that Joe Biden was ever a better candidate for the POTUS than Donald Trump, and that drunkard Harris was a better candidate than Trump. And yet, whenever someone disagrees with you, you immediately come out with that because you don't like the fact that Trump is a powerful, successful, admittedly braggart man. And now you're going after his grandkids? What's it with you in going after people's kids, Kelly? What's it with you in going after people and how they raise their children, Kelly? Maybe you have a problem because some of your children haven't turned out so well. In fact, didn't you have a video where you said one of your children had been to jail? That another one had decided that the military, which you loathe, was their career path? And that they're the only one fiscally doing well of your kids? I do seem to recall that video getting produced. Yeah. And you think Ms. 62-year-old divorcee who never had a family life, who apparently has done a poor job raising her children, who has no house, has no career anymore, you left it, you often told you won't work, you think we should accept your wisdom on how to live? Yeah, I didn't think so. Sorry, Kelly. You're just flat out wrong on this one. What a young lady today decides to do should be her choice, shouldn't it? That's empowering, isn't it? That's what we're for, right? Right? Or once again, do you just want everyone to think and act like you?